home security is definitely growing in popularity, but it can sometimes become a privacy nightmare and pose much more risk than benefit. Fortunately, there are ways to prevent it, and I'm joined by cybersecurity expert Paul Tracey with some solutions. Thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on.
Doorbell cameras are helpful when keeping an eye on your front porch or watching out for packages, but what are some of the risks that come along with them?
Well, we have to understand that your regular devices, computers, we have advanced antivirus now. And so, hackers are looking to get into your systems any way that they can. And what we refer to as Internet of Things devices or IoT devices, such as doorbell cameras, allow for much easier access in that most of them do not come innately with security controls in place, and those need to be set up.
Why can it be such a large concern for someone to gain access to these cameras?
Well, it's about the information that you're giving up. So we have to think about if someone gets into your camera, what data can they get? Well, they can move around your network first and see what other devices you have, but they're also able to see what your patterns of movement are. Are your kids home alone at a certain time of day? Are you gone for long periods of time? And so those things, obviously, we have locks and security systems on our homes. We don't want someone invading our privacy in that way.
If we do have a camera, what are the ways that we can protect ourselves?
Number one thing is we see a lot of supply chain issues here is make sure you're buying from a reputable company. Even the larger ones have had problems. Most people have heard of the incidents around Ring, and they've done a substantial amount to fix those. And what follows up on that is making sure that those systems are up to date, because if the manufacturer is putting out fixes for security issues and your device isn't up to date, then you don't have those security things in place.
Is it still a good idea to have a doorbell camera considering the risks?
It's certainly good to know if someone's stealing your FedEx packages. We don't want any of that to happen, right? But what we need to do is make sure that those devices aren't going to allow someone access to our home networks or even to the device itself. So we always recommend that those devices go on a separate home network, which is fairly easy to set up nowadays. And there's folks out there to help with that if you're unfamiliar or don't know how to do it. But keeping those devices separated and up to date will go a long way in protecting you from having them hijacked.
What else do we need to know about doorbell cameras to prevent security concerns?
Well, we have to understand that it's a gateway into your network. And we kind of look at surfaces. If you use your home, for example, you don't just lock your doors, you lock your windows too. You make sure that your garage door is locked. And with these devices, we want them to work, right? So we come home, we plug them in, and they automatically work because they're designed to work that way. One of the major things we notice is all these devices come with a default admin password, which is usually, I'm sure you've seen it, it's some admin or admin password a lot of times. And what we're not doing is changing that. So if you're not changing that device, everyone knows that's what the password is, and allows very easy access for someone to log into that system if it hasn't been changed.
Well, we will have more information at KBTX.com, but Paul Tracey, thank you so much for speaking with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.